Hello, amazing humans. I'm in my kitchen making my first meal of the day. Don't look at these lights. They're the worst, I know. I want to talk a little bit about having go-to meals. This is something I really stress and makes things so easy for you. A lot of the times you may have heard me mention decision fatigue, and this is a real thing. There are things that we are constantly thinking about, constantly deciding whether we consciously know it or not throughout the day. So sometimes with our nutrition, especially if we're newer to this, it is really hard to actually think about and decide how to build a balanced meal. It may seem very, very simple on the outside. And yes, it's simple. That doesn't mean that it is easy. And when our brain is kind of fried, deciding what you're going to make for a meal can be so hard that you're like, screw it. I'm just going to do whatever. So having some go-to meals that you know are balanced, that you know what's in it, that you know works for you, you're always going to have those ingredients on hand. That's something I highly recommend. For example, I have pretty much the same first meal of the day every day. And if I feel a little funky and if I have the capacity, then I make it a little bit different. So for me, like I have egg whites with reduced fat cheese. It gets a massive chunk of protein in that meal for me. Plus it's delicious. And I make a bowl of oatmeal on the side and put some different toppings in there, kind of depending on how I feel, what the season is, what my nutrition goals are at the time. So that's a meal that you can make small changes to. First meal of the day, usually a really big one because you're busy and starting your day and you have a lot on your mind. Last meal of the day, also maybe a really big one. And maybe it's not one meal that you have, maybe it's 2 or 3 go-to meals that you have that you know what's in it, you know what the macros are, you know that it's balanced, you know that works for you and possibly your family. So these are things to consider, things to kind of put in your back pocket and make life a lot easier for you. I would love to hear maybe some of what your go-to meals are. Maybe we can share and create some together.